Hello guys, and welcome to another exciting video on my channel. In this video I'm going to show you how you can apply this test or a grunge type of texture on your designs for printing on t-shirts, whether you are uploading it on Merch by Amazon or through any other print on demand services. Now there are different ways you can apply those grunge textures or the distressed effects to your designs, but in my point of view, there is only one right way. I consider all of the other ways or other techniques, other methods as wrong, because uh, they might give you an effect that I have talked about in my previous video about best practices in Merch by Amazon. And here you can see on this page that they have mentioned it, that something about the transparency. So if your design has some parts of it a little bit transparent and some parts as opaque, the chances are that the parts that are transparent are going to have that white halo effect, white outlines. Because of that, a little bit of transparency, if the transparency is lower than 20%, and if the transparency is more than 20%, still I think there will be some kind of white color visible underneath the actual design. So I totally avoid all the type of this to having any kind of transparency effect in my designs. So in my opinion, if you apply your grunge textures or the distressed textures on your designs, sometimes you will be getting this kind of transparency in your designs, which is totally unwanted, and you don't want to do it. Let me show you an example of the type of texture that you should not apply onto your designs. Okay, so this is the type of texture. You can see that it looks black and white, but it is actually not exactly black and white. If I zoom it to 100%, you can see that there are actually some gray areas here. These are not perfectly black, or nor they are perfectly white. So these gray areas will result in the transparency effect onto your design, and that will actually make the white color beneath it appear from the actual design on the actual design. That I have already shown you here that Amazon does not want you to do that. So in order to avoid this, what I usually do is that I convert the text. If I have this texture in part of it is in gray, I actually convert all the texture into pure black and white, and I'll show you in a moment how you can do it. Also, I don't usually apply textures in Photoshop. I actually do all of my work in vector graphic software like Illustrator. You can use any other type of software, but I mainly use this one. To my opinion, it gives you a better quality PNG images. So for example, here I have an image and I have some few of these grunge textures, and if I zoom in here on these textures, you can see that these are actually pure black and white. There are no gray areas in here. So I can actually put it here on the design itself. I can actually scale it, and this is the I can say that the positive aspect of this using a vector editing software or vector images is that when you scale up the images, they don't lose any kind of quality. So now that you can see that I have applied this texture and it is covering all of my artwork, now is the time I can actually go and apply this texture on the design, so that it does not appear, these black dots don't appear, and the design actually look distressed or grunged. So what I do is that I usually go to the layers panel, turn off the visibility of the actual texture, then I make a triangle, or a rectangle of the same size of the artboard. I bring that artboard below the actual texture, convert that artboard into the white color here, and this actually so then group both of these, and now this gives me a kind of masking effect that I'm going to use. This will help me do that. So I just select both of the layers, the design and the texture that I want to apply. Then I go to this layer, that is the transparency. If you don't see it in your Illustrator window, you can actually go to Windows, and towards the bottom you will be able to see there is the transparency. Once you select it, if you, as you in the layer panel, as you have selected both the texture one and the design layer, group. So once you go to the transparency, you can simply click mask and it will give you that distressed look. Now you can see that parts of the design are actually white. They look white because the background is actually white, but these parts of the design will be totally transparent, and once printed on the shirt, it will give you the distressed kind of look. Now that was the easy thing, because I was using Illustrator and I was using vector images and vector graphics of the texture itself. So that is a bit easy because it does not, I don't have to worry about the quality of the image. So if you are using Photoshop for your designs, and you have these type of textures in which the part of which are gray and part of which are actually black and white, what you can do is that you can convert it into black and white, pure black and white. And the easiest way, there are different ways to do that, but the easiest way is that you can go to the image and adjustments and then choose this threshold point. Now what this does is that it actually converts on the your image into pure black and white. So you can actually here you can adjust how much you want black, how much you want it to be white, the type of graininess, the severity of it. So let's say just we do it here after like that. Now if I zoom in, you can see that it is actually pure black and white. You are not going to see any kind of gray areas here. Now I can move this texture onto my design layer here, and then scale it up so that it covers all the area. Okay, now that it has covered all of the area, again you can once you zoom in, you will be able to see that as I have scaled it up, you will be able to see that those gray areas, gray halos areas appear around this. So that is actually the drawback of using Photoshop and Photoshop based images, because once you scale up the texture or the design, you kind of get this kind of effects, and these are unwanted and these are really bad. And if you are going to print it on the fabric kind of products like t-shirts or any other type of thing. So in order to avoid these kind of effects, once again you will have to go to the image and adjustments and then choose the threshold, so that you can actually remove those gray areas. But what happens is that if you apply that threshold again, it actually redo the whole thing, the whole texture thing. So what happens is that you might not be going to get the same kind of look as you were getting before. You can go to the you can actually go to the channels and then click control and click on this RGB top layer, and going back to the layers, you can actually come back, and here you can actually apply this mask effect. At the bottom of the layers panel, you will be able to see this icon, and if you click here, you will be able to get that mask effect. Now let me show you. If I apply a black background, or maybe, yeah, let's apply the black background, and you can see that it has applied that grunge texture. Now in my opinion, this is actually too much, and if I'm going to do the final design, I'll be lowering this the intensity of this texture. Now these are the cases in which you already have those grunge textures on black and white texture, or maybe a part of them are gray. But what happens if you don't have those textures and you don't want to buy it? So you can actually go outside, or maybe in your home, any place, use your phone camera, or maybe if you have a digital camera or DSLR, you can use that to take pictures of maybe wall or any kind of grunge looking effect, grunge looking place that you can see. For example, here this is the picture of a rough painted wall type of thing, and you can use these type of pictures to convert them into black and white grunge textures. So let me show you how. Again, this is the similar as I've done before. So you open the picture in Photoshop, go to image adjustments, and then you can go to the threshold. Now again, you can actually adjust the intensity of the type of grunge effect you want, and then simply click OK. Once you click OK, it's done. It is converted into black and white. So you can go to the actual image and try to cover your whole design I'm not going to scale it up so that I will have to again, apply that threshold effect. Now you can actually, if you have already applied that mask effect, I'm going to delete it, because I'm going to apply the new mask effect. So I'll hide all the layers except the one that I have just created. Again, I'll go to the channels, control click on the RGB, and go back to the layers, and then I'll unhide that design layer. And once the layer is selected, I can go and again create a mask. Now again, this have created this grunge type of texture, and it may look weird to you, but you can actually adjust the threshold value to make the grunge effect according to your likeness, and it will also depend upon the image type of image that you are using. So in this image you can see that there are a lot of different grunge type of effects and areas here, and you can use the images which have less of this and kind of like plain one, and after adjusting the threshold values you can actually make this less wear. And in this way you will be able to get actually pure these transparent areas. There will be no partially transparent areas, and it will help you actually avoid this kind of halo effect that you are going to get if part of your image is transparent. That's it. In my opinion, this is the actually best way or the proper way to apply grunge effect or the distressed effect to give your designs a kind of retro or vintage style look. And I think that's it for now in this video. And if you have found something interesting and useful for you, make sure that you like the video and do subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to press that bell icon so that you can get notification about my future videos. And also you can join my Facebook group, the link to which you can find in the description below. And thank you for watching, 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 and thank